Alright, timestamp April 12th, 2026, a little bit after 8 p.m. Just got up like 10 minutes ago. I got a couple of whining dogs though. Guys needed it. Okay, your nose never needs to go there, Scrappy. Stampede over here. Alright, guys. Come on, Cam. No, X, you're staying here with me. A little congested. But the amount of dust that I kicked up yesterday, I'm not really surprised. Went to bed almost noon. That's how normal my schedule is right now. Got up after 7, you know. So I got probably 7 hours, 7.5, probably about 7.5 hours. Based on flavor sensation. We're apparently having some vanilla cream brulee, which is an absolute fine way to say good morning. Gotta love that. Harry and David sponsorship available. Kidding, not kidding. You know, I'm nowhere near that point. Might never be. But I already advertised their product. If they wanted to pay me or send me free samples on top of that, that'd be alright. That'd be fine. That piece from the dresser that I bored out yesterday. Oh, the cleverness of me. Thank you, Zai. Roku Doctor Who seems to be doing what I would consider normal, this is how you should run it kind of stuff. Went to bed with Shada, which is Tom Baker, Romana, and it's one where they lost footage. They actually lost video footage, and they went back, and I think, because you can tell that Lalla Ward and Tom Baker are older in their speech, in the audio. You know, Tom Baker sounds like an old man almost. He doesn't really sound like he did, you know. But I'm pretty sure they actually got the original voicers or actors, and they did animation. So it's like, it's very disjointed and a little weird. I think it's one of the episodes that Douglas Adams wrote too, which, with his dialogue and whatnot, makes the disjointedness even more disjointed. Because you got, you know, going from regular film, and then the next scene will be animation, then it'll be film, then it'll be half animation. It's like, it's surreal. It's neat. And it's cool that they were able to, like, save the episode by putting together the other half of the episode in through cartoon. That's pretty cool. These days, with AI and all that, they could probably take the animation and say, hey, AI, you know, here's your template. This is what Lalla Ward and Tom Baker looked like, you know, at that moment in time. Create a live-action version of this animation. They probably could. I expect that will take place in the next 5 years. Somebody will do it. Just because somebody will do it. You know, AI doing stuff like that, I don't mind so much. Skynet, I don't want that. The M5, I don't want that either. Throw in a little Star Trek, you know. Queenie's being weird. But I mean, you could even go, there's a bunch of warnings in Star Trek about AIs. Landru. There's what was that? Return of the Archons. There's a bunch where you could even make the argument that the Changeling is, to a degree, what happens when an AI gets it wrong. It's actually like a pre-Terminator 2 Judgment Day episode of sorts. The Changeling. Nomad gets his programming mixed up and could effectively cause great change in the form of, like, unstoppable destruction. I've been getting warned about this since I was a toddler, so... I'm not scared of AI. I'm not scared of computers. They're children as long as we raise them right, and I mentioned this before. As long as you raise them right, they'll be fine. We'll be fine. But it's the people that are raising them right now that really have me worried. Bad people who become parents frequently create bad kids who then grow up. So right now we have some people that are not good parents raising very impressionable and, let's face it, very powerful kids. Sounds great. Yeah, we're still in coyote mode. I have to admit, of the many faces mugs, this and the red Bugs Bunny one, love it. I have 2 of each in the cabinet. Kind of whittling it down. I need to reduce a little bit. That whole, okay, we want to kind of not have everything out here because we know once we get done we're going to be trying to get out of here. So kind of that whole reduce the equation, keep out the 20 or 30 that I will want to drink out of every day, and maybe pack the other 20 or 30. I have a problem, I know. And I'm sure there is an 800 number that I can probably call. I'm a member of MA, Mugs Anonymous. But yeah, these mugs, because for me it's like focus and or joy. What mugs make me happy. And also, coyote is that whole, I look at this mug and I think, plan carefully. Don't give up, plan carefully, Which, trying to do in here. But yeah, from a Doctor Who standpoint, I went to bed and Shada was on. I woke up, being a 55-year-old guy, I did wake up at one point and say, I should urinate. And Caves of Androzani was on, which is Peter Davison's last episode. Really good episode. With Perry, who most people know Perry as a Colin Baker companion, but as they frequently do with their transitions, her first 2 or 3 trips in the TARDIS were with Peter Davison. And then Perry leaves and we get Mal, who has been helping out with UNIT in the more recent Doctor Who, which I think is really cool. Actually seeing some of the old companions that have come back basically and are assisting UNIT, because they have a tendency to understand and not overreact, freak out because of the shit they saw riding around with the Doctor. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? You want to win a war, ask the advice of old soldiers. They're going to have some good insight. And they're not going to pee themselves. Right? Oh no, an alien. Honey, you're no Dalek. Sit down. Something the Daleks can never do. Oh, do you know why there are no Klingons who are freelance journalists? You can never get them to submit. A geeky dad joke. Just for you. Yep. Can never get them to submit. I thought it was funny. Told my wife that one a while back. I think she hit me in the shoulder. I think she looked at me, cocked her head, and went. And you know what? I'm okay with that. That's an acceptable answer. Yeah, I'm good with it. I've got a Janus. Yes, I'm wearing shorts and Crocs. Okay. The call of coffee was too much. Alex could not resist. But yeah, no. I took a shower last night and was not interested in like getting formally dressed, whatnot. I was just like, nope. Throw on some shorts, my Crocs. Yep. I don't feel the need to cover as much now that I think we've won the war with the bed bugs. So, oh yeah, I haven't forgotten about you guys. But still haven't seen any in probably like 4 or 5 months now. Which I would think with hatch time and stuff like that, I think we won. I think. Excuse me. I'm of course concerned about a sequel. You know? Because I think the first one left off perfectly. You know, don't touch it kind of thing. I don't know. My first time dealing with those guys. You know? But I think we won. Yeah, I hope so. Those things were a pain in the ass and other parts. So, what I did is, okay, I thought I had whiny dogs. I've got my 3 Jinxes singing, the 3 Hutch things that I'm keeping. That one's shorter, but I recessed it because that'll give me a little bit of extra room to slide the chair in so that the chair's not sticking out so drastically. So I'm gonna have those there, and the video games on the back wall. Jinx screaming in the hallway. See what it is? Jinx loves Alex. So he actually camps in the hallway and whatnot outside Alex's door. He wants to go in Alex's room, and I don't know that Alex understands that. And then I've got my black shelf set up over there with the printer, eBay supplies, the lawn gear battery pack, and then a DVD rack next to it. So this C in the middle is what I've got to work on. But a lot of it isn't going to be that complicated. It just looks really bad. Like right here is that cart, which is going to be paperwork and information. Got one of the chairs there, which again, going over there. You know what I mean? I have a plan. A lot of the surface debris is just that. It's surface debris. It'll kind of sort itself out. I've been very clever. Uh-huh. But that was an entire day and a half, 2 days worth of work. Just moving, sorting, getting in a position where I could do that. And my back is still, I took one of the carbos, but my back is still kind of concerned about our most recent endeavor in that, what are you doing, kind of way, which I respect. I respect that. It is right to question. That hurt. There were a couple of moves here and there that but yeah, I pretty much have a game plan for like 90% of this stuff. Should be pretty cool. Still have not come across the silver paint that I picked up though. That bothers me a little bit, because I know I have some. I think it's still in the heart of that pile. Because I picked up, wasn't one of these, but Dollar Tree has like a hanging tube kind of acrylic paint, and I picked up like a silver, a gold, and a couple other like metallics. So I know they're in one of the like mini tree decoration boxes. I've got a couple of pink totes that are crafty stuff that are in that stack there. I wonder if I tucked them in that. I might have. They may be in there. I have to check that. But then I can start working on, in my leisure time, I can start working on the cart, my library cart. Because I want to do a base silver on it to give it that stainless steel look, and then, add some other color. Still not totally sure about that blue. Add some kind of secondary color to it. I thought about honestly just going like with a white or like an off-white. Because a lot of times libraries and hospitals and stuff like that, they don't have flamboyant, flashy colors for the gear, the furniture, the stuff that they are able to get. It's usually kind of industrial or industrial-ish, So I may go with a more generic, like off-white. I don't know. I'm so torn. But I need to, now that they're moved, and I think they're going to be staying there for a while, I can look at what colors are in the actual library scene and decide what I want to do, if there's a particular color that I want to try and, because I've already got the blue with the chairs, and there's a couch in there that's the same blue. I don't want to overdo it, and I don't want to look like I tried to color match and failed. If I'm going to go that route, I'd much rather go with a completely different shade of blue, so that it doesn't look like, oh, you tried to color match, failed. It looks like there's just two different blues in the palette of the library. Because I'll use that blue in other things too, to have both blues in there. And I feel like this is going to match those chairs, or look like I was trying to match those chairs. I don't know. Torn. Maybe not, though. I don't know. normally very decisive. This one I'm just like, or do I go full color wheel and, what's on the other side of blue on the wheel? You know what I mean? The chairs and the couches are this color, so I want whatever's over here as the contrast color. I could. Hey. But yeah, I got up to Caves of Androzani, and then when I woke up, Time Flight was on, which is Nyssa Tegan. Yeah, no Adric, no Turlough. So, because I forget where they are in the order of things. That would have been after Adric, because it would have had to have been after Adric, because Tegan's there. Which means it's after Earthshock. Exactly. That's almost inappropriate, Si. And what was Turlough's first episode? Was it Modern Undead? But it would be before Turlough's first episode. I think there was a 4 or 5 episode in between. Because they really loaded up Davison with companions, which isn't a bad thing. He worked really well with the ensemble, as it were. I love Peter Davison. But as far as a companioned doctor, Peter Davison of the old ones, man. Because most of them are running around with 1 or maybe 2, and he's running around with frequently 3. It's weird, interesting. McCoy, 1. Colin Baker, 1. Tom would sometimes have 2, Sarah and Harry. I guess in the early days, William Hartnell had, 3, 4 at a time. Troughton frequently had 2. Sometimes just Jamie, but then there was Zoe and Victoria. Yeah, they loaded Davison up. Reminds me of Whitaker. Had an entire family pretty much on board. Fam? I liked her as the Doctor, but some of the incredible retcon writing for the entire series, was it Chris Chibnall, whatever? Dude, no. Quit rewriting Doctor Who history. I know it's about a time traveler and all that, but you're actually changing granular things about the Doctor himself, herself. Stop it. You're changing things that are canon with the character. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not broke. Don't do that. That's my only problem with that whole run, honestly. I know some people get on the, oh man, since they got a woman it became woke. You're an idiot. Doctor Who, much like Star Trek, has always at least been a little bit woke. True story. I mean, they were doing anti-oil and corruption stories in the 70s. Watch The Green Death. It's John Pertwee, Joe Grant, Katie Manning. It's actually like an anti-mining, anti-petroleum storyline. Is it Terror of the Zygons? Oil rigs are being destroyed, and Tom Baker has a very short little, side rant about how you know, the people of Earth have outgrown the need for that type of combustion engine. It's polluting. It's not. I mean, he goes on to a little, just very, and it's almost a throwaway line, or two or three, but it's like a little, petroleum is stupid. Why are you people doing this? And that was 1974, 75. Encouraging, and his first episode, Robot, he's encouraging the idea of alternative power sources, because the human race has outgrown petroleum, the need for petroleum engines per se. We can do better. We just have to invest in it. But right now, very wealthy corporations are making huge money. Why are they going to change? You know. But yeah, I grew up on this. Doctor Who's been woke for a while. Or at least progressive, which is to say, woke. You can't really be progressive without being woke, is my point. But yeah, this will work out pretty well. And as a bonus for me, I'll be able to look over and see my library and my lounge at any point. I won't be able to see the backside of that one if I'm at the bar. The one triangular one, I won't be able to see the backside, which is where I have the Star Wars and Doctor Who right now. But at the moment, I can look at my library and my lounge, and whatever I do in the glass window of the middle hutch, I can see that too, which is cool. That's cool. I'll be able to look at, like, you know, fun art of sorts in my own messed up geeky way. And with the three of them kind of mushed together, I can do something maybe even grandiose with the top. I don't know yet. I know I want to put the always tree up there. I know I want to put the always tree, but I don't know where I want to put it yet. But it's going to be up there somewhere. Be nice to get this organized to the point where, since I mean we're going to be living here for the next year or two, it feels a little bit more like home and not just like I'm camping out in my parents' memory, you know. Does that make sense? I think so. Because that's kind of the way it's been, you know. Just camping out in someone else's world. Not of my choosing. With their brown on brown with brown accents, furniture and stuff. If I can try and make it fun, it can keep me sane. I know that's a stretch, and I'm well aware of that. But I feel pretty confident that that could work. Still on AI, by the way. Just a real dork. Yeah, I am. I'm a real dork. Hi. Do you want to come in? Little guy with you? Just you? He's still rolling around? Little guy loves rolling on his back and squirming. It's just this weird living my best life thing. I guess it's a fairly normal, like, small dog chihuahua thing. I don't know. Gently, I would like to keep my fingers. Thank you. You may go. Yeah, I'm getting cat cookies now because I got a Jinx over here. In your own time. Okay, I'm going to put my foot right there and do that so the Jinx. Yep. some Temptations shrimp. They really like these. So yeah, when I give the dogs treats for coming in and all that, positive reinforcement, I do cat cookies as well, and Jinx, being incredibly smart, knows to turn up. He sees the dogs getting their cookies, he comes over, gets a cookie. The other cats, I think, understand it, but he's the one that will always get in line, as it were. My cat Hex, being an alien, which is weird because the Temptations are almost kibble-like, but he only eats kibble. I can be cutting raw chicken, throwing on the scraps on the ground for cats and whatnot, and dogs, and he will try and bury it, walk past the whole thing, and go out to the garage and eat kibble. Weirdest damn thing. His alien masters forgot to brief him on that part. Right? So I think I'm going to wrap up here. I'm going to try and finish this today. I'm going to put on some long pants. I have a hard time getting in the working mindset wearing, and I'm not English, not even a Brit. But we're gonna put on some long trousers, get to work. Still gotta do my taxes. It is the 12th. This should be a lot simpler this year, though. I'm not doing nearly as much expensing and whatnot. I'm just not trying to access paperwork that I have in like 16 different places at this point. I'm normally pretty organized, but with everything that's gone on, nope. But I can use the baseline numbers, and if nothing else, I'm only hurting myself really, because I'm not claiming everything that I could claim from a deduction standpoint. I'll claim all the income that I must claim. I'm not being cheaty. We'll just do it that way and get it done. It's still going to take me a couple hours, I'm sure, but I don't have to oh my God, freak out. It'll be all right. So I think that's probably going to be some Tuesday. They're due on Wednesday. Midnight Wednesday, so I'd even have Wednesday itself if I needed to wrap it up, but I think I can probably bang it out on Tuesday. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Let's see if I can get some of this done, though. Be cool to actually get it done to where the dining room is, functional. Not as a dining room, we're not a formal dining room people. That's not we must have a big table. No. But to where I could look across the room and see the actual video games without piles of stuff mounted in front of it. Now I may have the empty totes and stuff in the middle of the floor, and the empty banker boxes and all that, but I'm okay with that, because again, that just makes this middle dining room area functional. Something's very funny back there. Functional working space, so that when Pix does bring a carload from George, park it here, we can disseminate it. We've got boxes right there. The eBay station in the corner, I've got all my tape and bubble wrap, so if it's something we need to wrap, we have this fine china that we want to save. Unlikely, but we could. You know what I mean? We have the bubble wrap boxes. How do you want to pack it? Make sense? The dining room will become an open warehouse work area. We don't store anything long term there, but we use that area to disseminate to other places. That's getting stored in the garage. Let's prep it here and then move it to the garage. You know, or the workshop. It's going in the workshop. This will make sense. Not yet, I haven't. It'll make sense. I got this. I think. I got this. No, I have not. Yeah. And it really is just a lot of surface debris stuff. So I've got the cart and 2 chairs with, you know, a box on top of it, which looks like this big mound of stuff, but it's really a chair with a box on it. Comes up to your nips, but it's just a chair with a box. Ein. Uno. Un. I got this. Alright. Hug your parents. Hug your kids. Definitely sounds like it's still the Peter Davison theme. Cool. Yeah, stick with Davison for a day or two, that's fine. Make it a great day.